In my last video, we built a multi-region failover setup using the AWS console. Today, we are automating the entire thing with Terraform, one command, and we will have VPCs, ILBs, EC instances, ACM certificates, and Route 53 failover configured across two regions. So let's dive in. So this is our architecture diagram. We have two regions, US East 1 as primary and US West 2 as secondary. Each region has its own VPC, ALB, ACM certificates, and an EC2 machine to serve a web page. And then once this region fails, it automatically gonna switch to the second region. So if I open this, I kept everything in main.tf file. So this is just a demo project. So there is no point to use modules. So in here, we got a Terraform required version and required providers version as well. So this thing makes sure that it's gonna we won't be able to run Terraform commands if it is less than 1.0 version. So for instance, if you go with Terraform 0.14, so it's gonna throw an error. So this one makes sure that we always use greater than this version to avoid any bugs. And this one we use the version constraint here as well. So this one it's gonna pull AWS plugins for the provider plugins, and it's gonna run 5.0, 1, 2, 3 till 5.9, but not 6.0. So that makes sure that, so in this way we can avoid any plugin related errors as well. So we are using two provider blocks. We are using alias. So this is an important thing here, because we're going to apply primary and secondary for all the resource blocks. So if you scroll down, you can see we are using data for availability zones, because as we are using two regions, so every region has different availability zones, the naming convention, as well as different number of ages as well. So for that reason, for primary we are using here. So here you can see provider equal to AWS dot primary. So this is how it fetches the reason. So if it is AWS dot primary, it's gonna go to here US East 1. If it is secondary, it's gonna go to US West 2. So that's how we are differentiating here. So if you scroll down, we have data for AWS CMS as well. For every region, we're going to have a different data block for this AWS AMI. The reason for that, if you look into AWS, if I go back, if I click on here, launch instance in this US East 1. So if I choose Amazon Linux, you can see the ID, it's ending with D55. So if I do the same thing in this region, this is US West 2. If I refresh it, launch it. So for the Amazon Linux, here you can see different ID. So that proves that every region has unique AMI IDs. So that's why we are using this block for two regions. And then here Route 53 zone, we are using data because we already do have Route 53 in here, hosted zone. This one we created in last project. So that's why we're using data. So whenever you see data, that means you can get the information from AWS, but you can't change them from here. So if you want to delete, if you try to delete this one, you won't be able to, because you're just using data block. So this one you didn't create with Terraform, so you won't be able to delete it. So here I'm using variables. So all of these variables is been defined here, and these variables gets values from terraform.tf vars. So I named it project name failover, and the environment dev, I'm using this domain, so just update your domain here, and then instance of T3 medium, so that's fine for me. So if you scroll down, now here you can see VPC primary. So everywhere we are using provider equal to AWS primary and secondary. That's how we are Terraform differentiates the region. So this one 10.1.00 side block we are using for this primary VPC, and it's gonna create an internet gateway as well as subnet. We are using two. It's gonna create two public subnets. The reason for that, when you create a load balancer, it's gonna ask for two subnets, two public subnets, that in two different availability zones. So that's why we are deploying these in two different availability zones. Remember that. and we're going to create route table and associations as well. If you scroll down, you can see secondary VPCs configuration with the provider block AWS.secondary with a different cider range. Internet, it's going to create the same thing as primary. And then if you scroll down, you can see here AWS ACM certificate primary and secondary. So we need to create certificates for in both regions, so we need to have them. And then we're gonna create these certificates, and then it's gonna create a record in AWS Route 53 to you know prove that we own the domain. Then it's going to go to the certification validation. So this one takes around 2 to 3 minutes, around not exactly 2 to 3 minutes, it's 1 to 3 in between 1 to 3 minutes to validate the certificates. And then we have security groups for ALB primary. So this exposes port 80 and 443, and we have a security group for EC2. So this one allows port 80 for only from ALB. So we do have the same thing in secondary as well. So we're going to create an instance here, primary instance. So it uses user data. So we call it bootstrap or user data. So while launching this instance, it's going to run this script. So this script, it gets from this file. So if we check in this file, it's going to install HTTPD, that's a web server, and then starts it and enables it, and it's going to use this AWS EC2's metadata to fetch the information, and it fetches that information and stores in this index.html file to show as a web page. So that's when we get green or red in the web page. I'll show that. We jump back to main.tf again, and we got a primary load balancer, and then it's gonna create target groups and health checks, and it's gonna create listeners as well for port 443 and 80. And then once you create these listeners, it's gonna use a certificate from the ACM. So it's gonna do the same thing for in secondary region as well. And here you can see target groups for load balancers. That's fine. Here how failover happens, it's going to create primary and secondary records. For the we're going to check on L check for only for primary. So we assume that secondary is always up. So once this primary goes down, so it's going to switch to that secondary. You can see failover primary and failover secondary. So whatever the things we did in the console, everything we are doing it from Terraform. So if I open the terminal, Terraform, then you need to run Terraform init command. So once you run Terraform init, you're going to see .terraform directory here. So that is going to pull the plugins related to our provider, in this case AWS. So once it is done, then we can run Terraform apply. Just single command, it creates everything. So we run it, it's been done. You can see .terraform directory here, and then if I run Terraform apply, so it's gonna run plan itself first. So once you're okay with it, then press yes to. So if you want to avoid it, you can run Terraform plan. So here you can see it's gonna create 38 resources. So that's including VPCs, route table, security groups, target groups, health checks, and everything. So once you press yes, now it's gonna create all of the things in here. If you go to load balancers in this region, soon you're gonna see them. If I click on this load balancers, it's gonna take a while. It's been done now. It took around 4 minutes to finish this setup. So we have these outputs in here. So that's what we declared in this output.tf file. So we're gonna see those outputs such as a primary LB DNS, and then VPC IDs. You can run the commands to start instances and stop instances. So if you jump back to the console, if you refresh it now, now you can see load balancer in this region, in US West 2, in US East 1 as well. You can see if you click on EC2 instances, Now you can see it's running primary. If you click on here, running fine. So if you go to AWS Route 53, if you click on health checks, so this one is unhealthy for now, so soon it's going to be healthy. And then if you go to hosted zones, you can see the records. It's been populated here. So that's how uh, we got a record for primary, and then failover for secondary as well. You can say primary, secondary. So Terraform, while creating what it fetches that, so it usually has a implicit dependency. What does it mean actually? So if you create here, you can see. Let me scroll up for the VPC section. Then if you understand it better. So yeah, if you check in this resource block, you can see VPC ID called AWS underscore VPC dot primary dot ID. So this resource block has dependency on this VPC. So it creates, the Terraform knows that it needs to create this VPC first, then it's gonna come to here. So while deleting, it's gonna, if it tries to delete this security group straight away, it won't be possible because it's gonna delete in reverse order. So it's gonna delete that VPC first, then it deletes this security group. So that's how it knows it. So if you go back to this Route 53 health checks again, now it's healthy. So if you open new terminal and incognito AWS 365.shop, so soon you're gonna see it takes a while in the UI, but if you use the command ns of aws.shop, still I won't see. That means those records hasn't been populated yet. So this one is going to take a while, the DNS thing, but this one is healthy for here. If I even you can use toolbox.googleapps.com as well, just to check DNS records. AWS 365.shop, you can see those IPs. So if you run it here, so this one I think it's a local cache thing. So if I go back and open that again, so yeah, now you can see the green page. So it's coming through. So now it's working fine, this primary region. So what I'm gonna do, if I go over here, so I'm going to stop at the primary instance. I can use this command, or I can go to this console, or I can stop it here. So I'm just gonna go with command line. So once you run that command, if you refresh it here, now it will be stopping soon. Did I use stop? Now you can see it's stopping now. So once it stops, our health checks this endpoint. Then once it feels it's not able to reach this endpoint, it's gonna declare this is unhealthy. So once it is unhealthy, it's gonna switch back to the secondary region. Then we're gonna see red page here. Now you can see 504. Even in NS lookup, you can see these IPs 83 and 145 and 3. So if you go to load balancers, probably in network interfaces, you can see those IPs 3 and 145. These are related to primary load balancer. This primary and primary, you can see. So once it gets this information that it's unhealthy, then yeah, now you can see it's unhealthy. Route 53 knows that, so it's automatically gonna switch to the secondary region. So this going to take around 1 to 2 minutes. So we may get 1 to 2 minutes downtime. So if I do ns lookup again, remember these IPs 3 and 145. Once it switches back to the other region, so you're gonna see new IPs. Still we are getting 504, now 503. Yeah, now you can see 75 and 121. So that's been failover happened, but in console it takes a while sometimes. So if I open in here, yeah, still but failover happened because we can prove it through this ns lookup. Soon you're gonna see that in the console. These are 121 and 75. Do we have these IPs? Let's check in these network interfaces in different region. That's 85 and 76. Do we have those? No, these seems a different IPs. If I now I can see 76 and 85. 76 and 85. So if I visit that AWS 3 shop, now we can see that in red, so you can see secondary server. So if I start that first server again, if I go back, if I start it, soon it's gonna be LD, this health checks. So once it is LD, then Route 53 automatically gonna switch to the primary. Then we're gonna see the green one here, primary region. So still it's having to it's diverting to secondary region. I'll wait for a minute. It took around 2 minutes. So now we can see the green one, primary server. But if I refresh this, L checks. Still it's unhealthy, but in the console it shows a while, but everything happens through the API. So this one already caught this new update. So even if you look in NS lookup again, now you're gonna see that old IP 145 and 3. So this one, now it's been failover happened. So that's how failover happens. Now we set that up fully automatic failover. When you're done, you need to clean up. So simple command to clean up everything. You just need to run terraform destroy. So this is a very dangerous command, so in production use it carefully. So it's gonna fetch the information, and then once you press yes, then it deletes everything that created using terraform. So once you press yes, it's gonna delete everything from the from AWS. So that's it. We just automated a complete multi-region disaster recovery setup with Terraform. So what we built custom VPCs in 2 regions in here. So custom VPCs in 2 regions and ACM certificates with automatic DNS validation, and then application load balancers with HTTPS, and EC2 instances with different colored pages, and we created Route 53 health checks. So all with one command. So I'm just gonna put that code in the description, so you can clone it, customize it, and use it for your own projects. So if this helped you, hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.